Right guys, on the 457th day of 14 days to flatten the curve or save the NHS, despite its sole purpose obviously being to save us, we've got another video on the hypocrisy that, as you know, is now happening on a daily basis. And as I said yesterday, is waking a lot of people up to the utter bullshit they've been belt fed like a dick over the past 18 months. Now, as you know, talking about the Euros is not something I want to do, considering the knee-bending cucks we've got playing for us, virtue signalling to a race-baiting Marxist movement. But unfortunately, this incompetent sock puppet government is forcing me into talking about it with their blatant hypocrisy and top-tier levels of stupidity on show. Some of you might remember the media's talking about UEFA demanding 2,500 VIPs get quarantine-free access to the UK for the semi-finals and final of the Euros. Shit, this is something I actually covered like 5 or 6 days ago now when the story broke. In short though, UEFA had demanded this exemption or they would move the final from Wembley to Budapest in Hungary, where entry restrictions are limited and full maskless stadiums are happening as we speak. Actually, speaking of Hungary, UEFA and the Euros themselves, some at a tosspot mayor of Munich tried to virtue signal using the Germany versus Hungary game. He wanted the stadium in Munich that the game will be played at to be lit up with the rainbow puke flag. This in protest against the elected parliament in Hungary's new anti-LGBT indoctrination law or some shit like that. Obviously, I ain't Hungarian, so I didn't really look into it that much. Anyway, UEFA rejected this as too political, which actually made me chuckle considering their undying support of players bending the knee. Paying homage to a Marxist movement that wants to defund the police, smash capitalism and collect millions in donations. You know, so the founders can buy multi-million-dollar mansions in the whitest part of California that they could find. But maybe UEFA supports the likes of Sasha Johnson, BLM UK's Black Panther, who some might remember headbutted a mostly peaceful bullet during a house party in Peckham recently. Ironically, she headbutted the mostly peaceful bullet sent her way by 4 black guys who I think it's safe to say don't believe that Black Lives Matter very much. Clearly though, these football players need to bend the knee more often to stop black lives not mattering to some people who let off these mostly peaceful gunshots. Either way though, this whole shit show here proves UEFA don't mind certain politics in football the utter snivelling shitweasels, when obviously no politics should be in sports full stop. This should be a fucking given, as you know. But back to the 2,500 VIPs reported the other day and the rank hypocrisy surrounding it, we now have confirmation they're being allowed in with no quarantine or restrictions by our government. Because during a deadly pandemic, threatening to move a couple of football matches to Hungary is enough to make Boris Johnson spit in the face of the British people with this hypocritical two-tier bullshit we're seeing now. The average Brit trying to go on holiday could be forced into one of these hotel quarantine camps at their own expense, alongside paying stupid amounts of money for tests before, during and after the holiday. The VIP tosspots with no right to be here can come and go as they please, and they won't be confined to just the football stadiums or their hotels either. The government will say to them, don't travel around much, but let's be honest, they're going to do some sightseeing and all that while here, and to be honest, I don't really blame them, do you? These restrictions are obviously ludicrous and should be treated as such by people if you ask me. Shit, Lord Sumption, former Supreme Court judge, has even said the same thing.
Yeah, of course, we've been able to do that for UEFA and FIFA officials, haven't we, coming to the football? David Davis has called that morally inconsistent.
Well, we've always said that for some people who are important, players, for instance,
so people
we've had
who want to go on holiday are not important. Is that what you're saying?
No, of course not. But we're talking a very limited number of people who are coming in, and they're also subject still to quite significant restrictions. They're not just able to come in and travel around Britain. They come in to attend a match and then go away again. We wouldn't have been able to host the tournament at Wembley if we hadn't allowed the players and people associated with the teams to come in to do so.
You are allowing chanting at matches, particularly at Wembley, but 7 people can't sing hymns together inside.
Well, I mean, we have said that professional choirs can now sing. Amateur choirs can sing outside. But as I say, we are proceeding cautiously. I very much understand that amateur choirs are very popular. A lot of people enjoy singing. I quite enjoy singing, and I hope that we'll get to the point where people can resume those kinds of activities.
Either way though, this shit show shows the elites taking part in yet more hypocrisy and rules for thee but not for me, much like we see at the G7 2 weeks ago now. They were all there loving life up close and personal with no masks and not a care in the world, yet the staff serving them had been muzzled along with most of the country. Now this has even got MPs and more questioning what the hell Boris Johnson thinks he's doing here, because the optics of it are so bad that it's unreal. He is essentially showing the sheeple who did all he asked and more over the past year that he's taken you for a complete mug. You can't do what you want in your own country, but very important fuckpigs can fly over here as they please just to watch a football game. Of course, I expect they won't need the 2 jabs Brits will need to be able to fly out of the UK without worrying about quarantines from August. That is apparently when the government plans to begin its 2-tier medical apartheid through vaccine passports, that as most of you will know will be required to do almost anything if these cunts have their way in future. It will start with holidays and large events and then morph into every part of life, I'm willing to bet. Of course, the rich and powerful can skip all the bullshit being forced upon us by a bunch of commie cumbuckets not only in Sage but also in the woke joke Green Communist Party masquerading as a Conservative party. Because for all who don't know, the Tories are about as conservative as Karl Marx or Caroline Lucas at this point. In fact, Green Guild Boris Johnson should be called Caroline Lucas in trousers, as I said the other day. His green agenda is as batshit crazy as letting 2,500 VIPs enter the country while you continue shitting all over the freedoms of the people who live in this country. Now personally, I'm actually waiting to see the damage control people run for Boris Johnson on this one. What excuses will be thrown out in an attempt to make this look less hypocritical than it already does. Actually, I'm sure it will be ridiculous, so maybe I don't even want to know what bullshit they're gonna come out with. There is no way to sugarcoat the optics on this one at the end of the day. It's rules for thee, but not for me. Now obviously, the bullshit they keep feeding us is getting rather old at this point, but like I've said before, it's good that they're doing it. This bullshit around the football is waking so many people up, it's unreal. It could actually be what ends the bullshit that we're seeing now, but obviously I wouldn't hold your breath on that one. The people have put up with much more than I thought they ever would. The UK is full of sheeples these days it seems, not people. Now guys, before I go, remember to check out my website that's linked down below along with my BitChute and Odyssey channels. Odyssey is the best way to support the channel and my website is obviously the best way to contact me directly and speak with other viewers like yourself. As I said, they are linked in the video description down below, so check them out if you have not already.